Test check, test check. I'll try this once again. Got to give thanks out there. Thanksgiving. Good morning. Odark 30. Heading to work. And I wanted to stay off the political end of things and just touch on more of the psychology and the sociology and the personal. Time to give thanks to those people that are around you, and give thanks for the fact that you have the eyes to see those people around you, and those people that have minimal impact, but for some reason, what little impact they did, it was profound enough. And there's people out there that don't hear any of these things, and when you do that, just that small amount, that keeps them going for a little bit longer. You don't know what their struggles. So therefore, don't think it's so minimal. Glorify it, get it a little bit more impactful in their lives to let them know that they're doing good. So many of us go down this road of not knowing, or struggling on what our next step should be, or where we should be going in life, or if we're doing anything, if we are making any sort of impact. There's some people that are shooting for the stars, and there's some people that kind of like me, that I just, I've accepted the fact of where I'm at and stay right there. And I've kind of always been that in the moment type more than longevity. And it's been hard to wrap my head around it, but hard to wrap my head and be able to live in that balanced. Okay, I know too many people that are shooting for this goal, or pushing and pushing, and they're not seeing what's kind of left in their wake. And so my idea of living in the moment, not as if all of a sudden you're not going to be here tomorrow type living in the moment, but methodically kind of looking at things from a different light in that moment to help others, or to learn to breathe. And it may seem like a slower pace to other people, or at one point, well, what have you done with your life? Type thing has always come against people that I know that kind of do this, and it's like more things than you would know, and more things than I would even boast about. God knows those items, and He knows our faults and our achievements, right? So, and living that, and I know people that struggle through this way. I know people that have had that rough time, and there's a coping mechanism that comes along with it. One of the things that I was told a while back is what we learn when we're 0 to 8 is how we're going to be able to cope with life from 8 to 80. And if you've had it rough, or if those rudimentaries have not been set in place at that first phase, you're going to have a hard time in the second. Okay? And it made sense, total sense. It was a struggle for me to figure out my impact in life, because I was one that always, because of circumstances, ran with an ideology that you'd be better off without me. Not I mean suicide or anything like that, but that I couldn't make enough of an impact. And you can call it self-esteem, you can call it whatever, however you want to call it. The fact of the matter is that if you've got what they call a self-esteem problem, that affects you. But mine, it was never boasting in myself. It's not that I'm not happy or sad or anything like that, and maybe I've overanalyzed it to that point. But it's just that I've seen more people that have been quote unquote in high esteem, and I've been going back to that scenario. I've seen a lot of the crap that they've left in their wake and the people they've affected, and I've just gone, wow, it's like the old adage of climbing to the top. Be careful when you're climbing to the top, because when you go to fall, you got to see all those people come on the way down, kind of thing. So I'm just kind of getting on a deep end here. I've learned these things through other people, not just looking at myself, And so I've learned to sit back. I've learned the peace that, I'll say religiously, that Jesus has given me, that God has given me. I've learned that peace in the only way that I was able to learn it. Okay? And that the impact that we make, the ability to have the insight to have peace amidst the chaos, comes in living in that moment. Okay? On a day-to-day basis. There's times that we're blindsided, and there's times that we've got our shit together, and all go through it. But you learn from that. And keep going on. If you're able, what is it like Ephesians said, to those that are able to understand the width, the breadth, the length, and the height, that peace that of Christ and everything in you that you have received, may you be glorified. May you be not glorified, but may you be blessed beyond measure. Okay. Humility is what I'm talking about. Is what it comes down to. And to some, I've seen people that have sat there placidly like mice and just going on with their life. And I've seen them trampled on. I've seen them called out for not being boisterous enough or pushing themselves out there, and I've seen the pain that it's caused, and it brings a tear to my eye every time I see that. We're all human, prone to achievements and prone to, I'll say it this way, fucking up. Yeah, and if that's a shocking sound, hearing it, you don't know how shocking screwing up can be, or how shocking being blindsided by life can be. The highest of highs, lowest of lows are very extreme. And there's a lot of people that live in the middle. But there's a lot of people that live in this tiny, thin line in the middle that are squeezed in by the pressure of everything. And so, when you give thanks, I'm going to round it up here. When you give thanks, remember the people that made an impact in your life, or that you want to bless. But also remember, there was a time in our lives that, like, they used to give out cards to the milkman, or to the post guy, postal worker, or to the lady who's selling flowers on the corner, or there's people that did something along your year that all of a sudden, if you think about it, stuck out, that this person did this one thing. And it may be minuscule in the grand scope of life, but it's those little things that get us along. Recognize that. Give thanks to them. And ask for a blessing on them in your prayers. But if you see them, give thanks to them. Bring it up and say, you did this that one time, and I know you may not even remember it. But I just want to know that it didn't go unnoticed. And there must have been a love that surrounded it, because it made an impact. I just want you to know. There you go. There's what I have to say. Kind of a garbled way of doing it, but hey, that's what you get at 5:30 in the morning, right? this while I'm driving and no one else to bounce off. Once again, have peace. And that means being able to breathe calmly amidst the storm, in the chaos. Have peace today, and give thanks that you can, and that you can stop and breathe, and hold your hand up and say, no, I've got this. Just hang on a second. Okay? Nothing but love. Enjoy the weekend.